Okay, so in the last lecture, we have discussed the vehicular characteristics. In that vehicular characteristics, there are two types of characteristics. One is the static characteristics and second one is the dynamic characteristics. And in static characteristics, we have seen the dimensions, weight, and minimum turning radius of the vehicle. So speaking about the dimension, so maximum width should be 2.44 meter, and the maximum height of vehicle, if it is a single deck, then 3.8 meter, and if it is a double deck vehicle, then 4.75 meter. Okay. Speaking about the maximum length, which affects the overtaking side distance and movability of the vehicle. If it is a single unit truck with 2 or more axle, then its length should be 11 meter. If it is a single unit bus with 2 or more axles, then the length should be 12 meter. And if it is a semi-trailer tractor combination, the length should be 16 meter. And if it is a tractor and tractor combination, the length should be 18 meter. Then we have seen some of the clause or standards given by the IRC for the weight of the vehicles. So as per the IRC, if it is a single axle load, then the weight of vehicle should not exceed 102 kilonewton, that is 10.2 ton. And for tandem axle, it should not exceed 180 kilonewton, which is 18 ton. The gross load or of any vehicle should not exceed the weight which is calculated by the formula 1525 into bracket L plus 7.3 minus 14.7 L square, where W is the gross weight of vehicle in kg and L is the distance in meter between the extreme axles measured parallel to the axis of the vehicle. Okay. Then this diagram is showing the vehicle which has a single axle. This is a truck with dual axle, or you can say tandem axle. Same here. This is also figure showing the tandem axle with dual tires. Okay. Then we have discussed what is meant by the minimum turning radius. Minimum turning radius म्हणजे काय हे आपण पाहिलं. So minimum turning radius म्हणजे जी रेडियस व्हेइकलच्या फ्रंट व्ह्यूनी ट्रेस केली, हे अशा सर्कलची रेडियस असती जो सर्कल व्हेइकलच्या फ्रंट व्ह्यूनी ट्रेस केलेला असतो. कधी? जेव्हा त्याचा आपण स्टीअरिंग मॅक्झिमम एक्सटेंडला मूव्ह करतो तेव्हा. ओके. So minimum turning radius is the radius of the circle which is traced by the front wheel if the vehicle moved with its steering extended to maximum. Okay. So for this, those vehicle which are large in size will have the larger radius, which are smaller vehicle which have they have smaller radius. Okay. So in this figure you can see this red circle is traced by the outer wheels of vehicle, and this is the radius of that circle. Now this radius is known as the minimum turning radius. This radius आता आपली minimum turning radius असणार. Okay. This is the diagram showing the minimum turning radius for single unit truck, in which the path of left front wheel as well as path of right rear wheel is shown. You can see here the path or the curve which is traced by the left front wheel will give or will have the maximum turning radius, while the path of the right rear wheel will have the turning radius less than that of left front wheel. Okay. Now same diagram is of the minimum turning radius for the passenger vehicle. Okay. इस डायग्राम आता तुम्हाला पॅसेंजर व्हेकल साठी दिसेल. So this minimum turning radius mainly depend upon the length of wheel and the features of the steering system. ही जे काय मिनिमम टर्निंग रेडियस आहे ती मोस्टली कशावरती डिपेंड असेल तर मिनिमम टर्निंग रेडियस मिनिमम टर्निंग रेडियस ही मेनली लेंथ ऑफ व्हील बेस आणि स्टीअरिंग सिस्टीमच्या फीचर्स वर डिपेंड असेल. आणि ती अफेक्ट कशाला करेल? इट विल अफेक्ट द डिझाइन ऑफ द कर्व्स and the movement of slow speed vehicles. Okay. Then we have discussed the characteristics, dynamic characteristics of the vehicle, which includes speed, acceleration, and braking characteristics. Okay. So mainly the speed of vehicle and the acceleration depends upon the power of the engine and the resistance that vehicle has to overcome. Okay. While the deceleration and the braking characteristics of the vehicle depend upon the design and the type of braking system and its efficiency. So for conducting the braking test, we have to measure the skid resistance of the pavement surface. And to measure this skid resistance, we have considered the three different cases, in which the case number one is where initial velocity and braking length is involved. In this, we have equated the work done to the change in kinetic energy, right? And after equating, it will give the braking length as well as the frictional force, which is given by braking length u square by 2fg and f is equal to u square by 2lbg. Second case is that where initial velocity and actual direction of brake application is measured. In this, we have equated the frictional force with the driving force of the vehicle, which is Fmg is equal to ma, and this gives the coefficient of friction as F is equal to A by G, where A is the acceleration during skidding. The third case is where the braking length and actual duration of braking application is involved. So with the use of linear motion equations, we have calculated the coefficient of friction as F is equal to twice L divided by GT square, and retardation as A is equal to twice L divided by T square. Okay. Then we have discussed the power performance of vehicle. For what purpose power performance of vehicle is required? So what are the different resistances that vehicle has to face? So the knowledge of power performance is necessary for geometric design of the grades and to determine the running cost of the vehicles. Then we have seen the resistance to the motion of a vehicle. In this, there are mainly 5 types of resistance. First one is the rolling resistance, RR. Second one is the aerodynamic resistance, RAE. Third one is the gradient resistance. Fourth one, acceleration or deceleration resistance. And fifth one is tractive resistance. Okay. In the rolling resistance, now you can see here, this is a general figure in which all the resistance acting on the vehicle are shown, or all the resistance experienced by the vehicles are shown here. So there is a rolling resistance, air resistance, friction between, just a minute. So this figure is showing the resistance experienced by the vehicles. Then we have discussed the general formula of the total resistance. So the total resistance is nothing but it is the summation of all the resistance. So R total, that is total resistance, is equal to rolling resistance plus aerodynamic resistance plus gradient resistance plus acceleration deceleration resistance plus tractive resistance. So what is rolling resistance? The rolling resistance is nothing but the resistance or the frictional resistance between the road surface and the tire surface. Okay, so this rolling resistance affects the surface reference of the road, but it will not affect the vehicle speed. And how to calculate the rolling resistance? The rolling resistance is calculated by the formula RR is equal to mu R, where mu R is the rolling resistance coefficient into weight of the car plus downward force acting on the vehicle, which is given by Wx. Okay, so whatever the rolling resistance, that is mu R, it mainly depends upon the surface condition of the road, the material and pattern of the tires, air pressure, and the vehicle speed. So the most commonly used coefficients are given here, so which depends upon the type of surface. Like suppose your road pavement is of concrete, cement concrete and asphalt surface, then you can take the value of mu R, coefficient of rolling resistance, as 0.01 to 0.02. If it is a road with gravel surface treated with bituminous binder, the coefficient of rolling resistance can be taken as 0.02 to 0.025. And if it is without bituminous binder road surface, then coefficient of rolling resistance is 0.03 to 0.04. Okay, if it is a cobblestone pavement, then the value of mu R is 0.03 to 0.06, and it is plugged field or swampy ground, then coefficient of rolling resistance is 0.15 to 0.3. Okay, एक्झॅक्ट सांगायची की कशी 25 लाख टाकून द्या. एक्झॅक्ट म्हणलं तर ह्याच्यावरती ऑफिस ऑर्डर वरती 23,88 23,85,000 काय 25 लाख टाकून देतो लोडिंग फ्रेमच्या ऑफिस ऑर्डर. The second type of resistance is aerodynamic resistance. So aerodynamic resistance is nothing but the resistance of the air motion without any wind in air. Okay, so in this type of resistance, the vehicle experiences the aerodynamic force, which is drag force or lift force on the body of the vehicle. Okay, so whatever this drag force which is generated on the front and rear side of the vehicle, it acts as a driving resistance. And to calculate this aerodynamic resistance, there is one equation by which you can calculate the aerodynamic resistance, which is given by 1/2 CD rho into bracket velocity of car minus wind velocity into a cos theta, where CD is the drag coefficient and a is the projected frontal area of the vehicle, while theta is the slope between the wind and driving direction, or angle between the wind and driving direction. Now to obtain this projected frontal area of the vehicle, it is given by the formula 0.82 into B into H. where B and H are the maximum width and height of the vehicle to be considered. Okay. Generally, the drag coefficient of vehicle is in the range between 0.35 to 0.55. And the third type of resistance is a gradient resistance, which is nothing but the gravitational resistance experienced by the vehicle due to its own weight. So you can see here, theta g is the gradient angle of the road, and in order to calculate this gradient resistance Rg, it is calculated by the formula Rg is equal to weight of the car into sine theta g, where theta g is the gradient angle of the road. Okay. So when a car is going down a hill, we can consider the gradient resistance value as a -1. Then the fourth type of resistance is a acceleration or deceleration resistance. In which the vehicle which is traveling on a road, due to changes in traffic condition, it will experience the positive or negative inertia resistance. This inertia resistance is classified into two parts. One is the angular inertia of the rotating part, while second one is the linear inertia of the running vehicle. And to calculate this inertia resistance, the formula is WR by G into alpha, or A, where WR is the equivalent mass of all rotating components and A is the acceleration speed of the vehicle. So this equation is further modified by multiplying and dividing with the gross weight of vehicle. So the inertia resistance becomes W into WR divided by W into A by Z. So based on the gear system and small car and large car, the variation is given as, for example, suppose the variation of W by WR, if it is a 3-gear small car, is 0.11, while for large car 0.09. Okay, so the last type of resistance is the tractive resistance. So what is tractive resistance? For that, first of all, we need to understand what is meant by tractive force or traction force of the vehicle. So whatever the force which is required to overcome the total running resistance at given driving condition on tires is called as traction force of the vehicle. जो काही फोर्स लागणार आहे आपल्याला टोटल रनिंग रेजिस्टन्स ओव्हरकम करण्यासाठी जो की टायर वरती येणार आहे त्याला आपण ट्रॅक्शन फोर्स ऑफ व्हेकल म्हणणार आहे. Okay. So this traction force is directly proportional to the torque generated at the engine shaft, and this shaft torque is given by tau is equal to F into L, where F is the force in Newton and L is the radius in meter for an engine crankshaft. Now, how to calculate this tractive resistance? This tractive resistance is calculated with the help of Newton's second law of motion, which is given by R tractive, that is tractive resistance is equal to F engine minus FIE plus FIT plus FID plus FIWA. So what is this FIE, IT, ID and IWA? So FIE is the resistance of inertia force of engine, IT is resistance of inertia force of transmission, ID is the resistance of inertia force of drive shaft, and IWA is the inertia force on wheel and axle shaft respectively. Okay. So up to this we have discussed in the last lecture. Now today we are going to discuss the various road characteristics. तर आज आपण रोड कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक्स डिस्कस करणार आहोत. So first characteristics in this is the road surface. The first characteristics आहे ते आहे road surface. Second one is lighting. Third one is roughness. Fourth one is pavement colors. Fifth one, night visibility. And sixth one, geometric aspects. So let us discuss one by one in detail. So as you observe, the most important characteristics related to road is the road surface. जी सगळ्यात महत्वाची characteristics कुठली असेल, speaking about road, is the road surface. रोड सरफेस कोणत्या बेसिस वरती ठरवलं जातं किंवा काय क्रायटेरिया आहे, तर किंवा कुठल्या प्रकारचं पेमेंट असलं पाहिजे, रोड कुठल्या प्रकारचा बांधला पाहिजे, हे कशावरती डिपेंड आहे, तर तिथे येणारा ट्रॅफिकचं व्हॉल्यूम किती आहे, कुठल्या प्रकारचं ट्रॅफिक आहे, मटेरियल्स कुठले कुठले अवेलेबल होऊ शकतात आणि फंड्स किती अवेलेबल आहे, या गोष्टी तुमचं टाइप ऑफ दी पेमेंट डिसाइड करायला इम्पॉर्टंट असतात. Based on this, your type of payment is decided. Okay, so the type of payment is mainly determined by the volume and the type of the traffic. Along with this, the availability of material is also one of the important factor for deciding the type of the payment. And lastly, how much funds are available, this also decides the type of the payment. Okay. So which factors are related to this road surface? So mainly roughness is related to road surface, road roughness. The tear and wear of the tire, tractive resistance of the vehicle, noise, light reflection, electrostatic properties. All these properties are related to road surface, and this should be given a special attention or care while designing construction and maintenance of the highways, in order to make it the safe and economical. Okay, तर रोड सरफेसच्या ज्या मेनली रोड सरफेसशी रिलेटेड जे मेनली फॅक्टर आहेत त्यामध्ये कुठले कुठले येतात? एक म्हणजे रफनेस असेल रोडचा, दुसरा जी काय होणार आहे आपल्या व्हील्सची, व्हेकलच्या व्हील्सची, त्याच्यानंतर ट्रॅक्टिव्ह रेझिस्टन्स म्हणजे काय आपण जस्ट डिस्कस केलं. ट्रॅक्टिव्ह रेझिस्टन्स, नॉइज, रिफ्लेक्शन, या सगळ्या ज्या गोष्टी आहेत, all these things which are related to the road surface has to be given careful attention during the design, construction and maintenance of the highways. Okay. Now, this road surface is mainly depends upon the volume of the traffic. So if there is a heavy traffic volume, there should be a smooth riding surface. जर हेवी ट्रॅफिक असेल तर रायडिंग सरफेस हा स्मूथ असला पाहिजे, which should be with anti-skidding properties. जो की प्रत्येक वेदर मध्ये डिझायरेबल असला पाहिजे रायडिंग सरफेस. ओके. So in case of heavy traffic, we can generally go for the smooth riding surfaces with a anti-skid properties. Now whatever surface we choose, this should have the minimum maintenance cost, and there should be a minimum traffic operations. Okay. So the riding surfaces should be in a such a way that the maintenance cost is to be minimum, while the traffic operations are also to be kept at a minimum. Okay. So road surfaces mainly plays a important role for the smooth conduction of the traffic. Okay. So for heavy traffic volume, we are giving a smooth riding surfaces, but that smooth riding surfaces should be with anti-skid properties. and it has to keep our maintenance cost as well as traffic operations to a minimum. Okay. The second characteristics related to road surface is the lightning. Okay. So lightning is very important characteristics for the night vehicular traffic and pedestrian traffic, so that there will be a proper distribution of the light flux from luminaries. Okay. So illumination is nothing but it is a physical feature which is used to illuminate the road.